maxim of the week is this: if he comes, let him stay, but if he moves, punch straight to the body. In other words, when your opponent moves his hand away from your block, when your opponent moves his hand away from your block, and again, I'm going to demonstrate this physically with a volunteer, so you see what I'm talking about. When your opponent moves his hand away from your block in order to throw another punch, when your opponent moves his hand away from your block in order to throw another punch, you should punch straight ahead. You should punch straight ahead and not follow his hand. Excuse me. So I'm going to read the whole thing again. If he comes, let him stay. But if he moves, punch straight to the body. In other words, when your opponent moves his hand away from your block in order to throw another punch, you should punch straight ahead and not follow his hand. Okay, volunteer. Okay, Travis, come on up. Okay, so stand right here. If he comes, let him stay. But if he moves, punch straight to the body. Stand right here. So what are we talking about here? Well, we've got a lot of examples that we can do. Okay? The first one being from the Dan Chi Sao, or single sticking hand exercise. The precursor to Chun Chi Sao, or double sticking hand, or two sticking hands. Those of you that are in the Dan Chi Sao exercise, if he comes, let him stay, but if he moves, punch straight to the body. Very simple to see this, okay? So we're here, he's in Tan Sao, I'm in Fuk Sao, okay? So we're doing the sticking hands exercise. He throws the palm strike, I jump Sao, and then I'm punching, and he bong Saos, okay? Very simple. Now, while we're connected here, there's a connection, we can feel what each other is doing. If he comes, let him stay, but if I move my hand, he's going to punch straight to my body. In this type of scenario, it could mean, I don't even have to really disconnect from him. It could simply mean that my elbow is out of position. It could simply mean that instead of my elbow being on the elbow line, the quarter line, I move my elbow out, and when I do, he goes straight through that. Let's look at the other hand. Same thing. Tan Sao, turn so these other folks can see you. Tan Sao, Fuk Sao. Go through a couple of positions there and put my hand back so you can see. I jump Sao forward. Now I'm punching. Okay, we're doing Dan Chi Sao here. All right, my elbow's in on the proper elbow line. But if I move my elbow out, then he can hit me. Now, from the observer, it may not be clear to see that I move my elbow out, but he feels it. And why does he feel it? Because we already have made a connection. Dan Chi Sao, you're feeling, he's got like a radio antenna, a stereo antenna right here, and I've got my antenna right here, and now we have a connection. And so he can feel what I'm going to do, and I likewise can feel what he's doing, okay? So when I move my elbow out, he can feel that, punch straight to the center. So that's one example while we're still connected. Here's another example. If he comes, let him stay. So this is more large of an example. He throws a punch to my chin. I pak sao, okay? I've pak saoed right here on right before his elbow, lined up with his core. I didn't slap it out of the way. Or I didn't do this kind of stuff, these big, trying to move him or displace his arm out of the way. I'm simply going to allow him to come to me, and I'm going to stick to him. In other words, if he comes towards me with his force, I'm going to let him stay. I'm just going to redirect his force away from my center line, away from my core. I'm not blocking him to throw a punch. I'm blocking him and moving him away, or throw another punch, doing this kind of stuff to where I'm going to have to re-engage with him and start all over from square one. I'm not going to do that. I'm simply going to stick to him, redirect his force off my core. So if he comes, let him stay. There, I let him stay. There's my fuksal, okay? But then if he leaves, go straight to the body. An example of this would be very simple. I let him stay, but now he's going to disengage from my block to throw another punch. When he does that, so he throws a punch, there, and he tries to disengage to throw another punch, I just go forward. Instead, what happens here, when he disengages, instead of me following the hand, move your hand around, see this following hands, oh man, I can't let him hit me, I can't let him hit me. Oh, I'm doing a great job of blocking everything he's throwing, throw the other hand. Oh my goodness, I'm blocking, I can't, oh this is great. Well, instead of what has been termed playing with hands, instead of playing with hands like that, that's just, maybe that looks good to some people, but there's a better way. And the better way is this Maxim. If he comes, let him stay. But if he moves, punch straight to the body. In other words, when your opponent moves his hand away from your block in order to throw another punch, you should punch straight ahead and not follow his hand. So he throws a punch to my chin, I'm there, and then he tries to back away, I go forward. Don't even blink. You could do this blindfolded. You could do this in the darkness outside because you're not worried about sight. You've already got a connection made here. Okay, so you can feel it. I'll close my eyes. If he comes, let him take the punch. I'm here. I have no vision. I feel what's going on. If he moves and tries to disengage, I go straight to the body. Okay? If he comes, let him stay, but if he moves, don't follow his hand. Just go straight to the body. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. The entire Maxim is Lolao Hoishon Lutsao Jikjun. And that is if he stays, or excuse me, if he comes, let him stay. Okay? That's only the first part of it. Okay? If he moves, he goes to the body. And there's another part of it that says thrust forward when the hand is freed. So however this hand is freed, whether we're here, whether he's got me pinned already, and now he's hitting me, and now he's going to let that go. See how I let that go? He let this hand go, I will be no longer trapped. I'll go straight to the body. Of course, I have to take care of this hand because it has the right of way. Like my Qigong Carl Goblin always says, he's got the right of way. I can't just blindly try and hit him. I have to do this. Okay? Get rid of this hand, whether it's here, it has the right of way. Okay? So, Carl has a wonderful way of sharing this information and teaching this information, and I'm sharing it with you guys. Okay? So, Lolao Hoshon Lutsao Jikjun is the first part we talked about of that Maxim, is if he comes, let him stay, but if he moves, go straight to the body. Don't follow the hand. Okay? If you apply this with your Dan Chi Sao, if you apply this with your Chi Sao, if you apply this in sparring, if you apply this out on the street, you will find yourself to be a lot more effective, not flailing about, trying to do all kinds of stuff like that. You'll be efficient in your fighting, and you'll definitely confound the person who is your opponent. Okay? You won't use as much energy. You will have a very effective way of defending yourself, and you'll be using what's called economy of motion or economy of movement. Okay? I just went forward. Okay? At all opportunities, go forward. Leung Jan, who was before Yip Man, who taught Leung Bik and Chen Hua Shun, and they taught Yip Man. Leung Jan, that's what he said about the British boxers. Hey, they went forward at every opportunity. That's what you want to do. Go forward at every opportunity.